Welcome, everyone. Okay, this is episode 2 of Ruix 2.0. Before we get started, I just learned minutes ago that one Mr. Richard Lewis, the comic from hell, neurotic, whatever, one of my favorites, passed away from a heart attack, and so R.I.P. I wanted to say, I'm going to touch my face neurotically in honor of Dick Lewis, R.I.P. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, those of you that have. We're back with the second episode, and today we're going to talk to our friend, singer-songwriter, bartender right here in this this very joint at the Smokestack, Mr. James Riley. How are you, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Good. You got a drink to cheers me?
Yeah. A little bit of this.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. This here is a Shirley Temple, or kitty cocktail. Actually, I don't know really the difference. You're the bartender here.
This is a tall glass of vodka. There you go. That's what I'm working with.
Okay, so by the end of this, we're going to get real nice. Yeah. I put a little bit of lime juice in this, making it, I think, a Shirley Temple. I don't know, though.
We call
Will
that
you tell
the
me the
zest
difference?
in the business. We just flavor, that's showmanship, really.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What is the difference between the Shirley Temple and the kitty cocktail?
So
exactly?
bartender is a strong word for what I'm capable of.
Do tell.
I know a thing or two, but the exact difference, couldn't tell you. When somebody asks me for a Shirley Temple, I kind of make a sweet drink with some grenadine that doesn't have any alcohol in it.
Well, sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never know the difference if I ordered one, which I probably would not. But anyways, why don't we start by you telling me, you're a Dubuquer from way back. You were born somewhere else. What's the story with you?
Finley Hospital. Born and raised Dubuque. Went to Lincoln Elementary School, Washington Middle School, then senior.
I too went to Lincoln for a while. Rail splitter. I too was a Ram.
Awesome.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my alma mater. Okay.
Yeah, Lincoln's the best.
Yeah. Mr. Hickey, I think he either died or was for sure retired by the time you were at Lincoln, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure I heard he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
anyway,
Mr.
this isn't
Hickey.
about me.
Yeah. Senior, and then I went to Clark for a year. Then I moved to Iowa City for some time. Went to Iowa for a little bit. Studied some philosophy and creative writing, and then I had started doing some music stuff shortly before then, like producing, messing around on Logic and that kind of thing.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
And that was, I could do that for like 6 hours a day, easy. And I was having a real hard time doing my homework for classes and whatnot. So I was just like, what am I spending all this money on?
Now, what do you mean you can do that for 6 hours a day? Like just dick around with other people's stuff, your own stuff? What?
Mostly like writing. I did a lot of sampling back then too, but making beats or ambient electronic music or whatever it was, I could just sit down and, it's a little sandbox. I could just play around for hours and hours. And it still felt like work, but it was like work that felt really productive to me in a way that I wasn't getting out of school. So I stopped going to school. And then I started just working whatever I needed to work to pay the bills and doing music on the side. And that's where I'm at still.
So when you and I met, you were like Addison in the previous episode here, a mentor in the very first Dubuque Area Arts Collective Mentor Program.
Yeah.
You were a mentee.
I was.
And when I was a mentor. I'm not going to have you critique how I did.
No, for me, John, the coolest thing I learned from you is that every drummer has a drummer face, and yours is like especially potent. You were doing that Guns N' Roses tune. on stage here.
Would
and
have been
you were,
Paradise
like,
City, I
You
believe.
were like full mouth open, drummer face. It was sick as hell.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Lots of people have said that.
Great.
But anyways, so now you are one of the mentors in the most recent program that's going on right now. I think we are in the middle of week 4,
Yes,
3, 4?
I believe so. Week
Okay. So how's that going?
It's good. It's really cool to kind of, because it's a little bit different than when I was in it, just because of the way it's set up and who we have available and all that good stuff. And I think in a lot of ways it's really improved, which is cool because it was super cool for me to be a part of even back then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool to be on the other side of it. And like I don't know, I forgot how cool music was from a perspective of not knowing it super well too. To have it be like a little magical, like a little mysterious still. Like
Sure,
these kids really don't know, like they've never played with other people, you know? At that point, you don't even like you don't even know what it's like yet to like get high off of like jamming like really hard with people,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Like when you like really lock in and there's that cool feeling that happens. I don't know, nothing beats that.
Absolutely.
And it's cool to see some of them go through that like in front of you for the first time. It's really sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them are, I mean, now that they're sort of collaborating with themselves, with each other, and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be rewarding to see, you know, like now that you've been doing it for a couple of years, getting on stage yourself, and you know, stuff like that. I mean, how do you think that this, you know, the performance at the end of this is going to go?
Oh, I think, well, it's going to be very cool. I think, I don't know, it's going to be very different for sure, but things are already starting to come together for a lot of the groups, which is great to see. A lot of them just have a really natural connection, so there's going to be some really hot tunes out there, which is fun.
And there's an art aspect that's introduced this time too.
Yeah.
So there's going to be like sort of another level of, or another layer of collab there too.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure how those are going to tie together, but I think it's awesome that we have an outlet for both physical mediums and music.
Absolutely.
It's really, really sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's see here. What else did I want to ask you today? You just recorded an album.
I did?
Yeah, so
An
you want to
EP,
talk about
yeah.
that a little bit,
Sure.
or?
It'd be my first studio singer-songwriter project. Really excited. I had a really fantastic time at Flat Black in just outside Iowa City with Luke Tweedy. Really great dude.
Another Iowa native.
Yep, I would highly recommend. Really sweet experience. I was out there with Hannah Mae, Ben Dunnigan, my dad, Tom Riley, Dave Dottie, his music buddy. Christina Castaneda came out and did some vocals for me too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, an all-star cast.
Yeah,
it was
Dubuque,
a blast.
Dubuque
Yeah.
representing former and future guests on this podcast, this very podcast. At least Christina was a former.
Nice.
And, you know, those like Ben and Hannah, also mentors with you in this program.
Yep.
Hopefully want to come on and talk to me. I don't know, they
Absolutely.
might be too scared, and that's fine too. Whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You mentioned your dad. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you have a music upbringing then.
Yeah.
So
So
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, he and his music buddy Dave, they've been playing together since college. Was really sweet to have them on a recording. They did an album with their band in like 2003, but that was like the last time they recorded anything. So it was just sweet to see them knock the dust off and get back and do some stuff.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
really
rad.
really fun. And just to have, you know, to be able to have something that you record for real, like with a family member on it, just feels kind of cool. That's really sweet.
Yeah. Is your dad a pretty big influence on your playing in general?
Yeah,
or-
so he has been playing guitar for a really long time. His mom was a music teacher, or a piano teacher, so his whole family was pretty strictly raised on music. And I got kind of a similar-ish treatment. I had to start taking piano lessons when I was like really young. Didn't always have to be piano; it could be whatever instrument I wanted, but
Sure.
I had to be doing some kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my musical taste was inspired by both mom and dad. A lot of Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Jackson Brown, that kind of thing.
Excellent.
Is what I was raised on for sure. That was the kitchen music.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do both your parents play?
Ma sings now. She's been singing for a long time, but she started like singing.
But she
singing.
sings now too.
Yeah. She sings out with dad.
Okay.
Now, which is really sweet. But dad does singing and guitar mostly. But he collected accordions for a while, and he's a tinkerer. He likes to mess around with instruments.
Yeah. Fix them and restore them and
flip
stuff like
'em.
that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Does he play accordion too?
He can play the accordion. I wouldn't say he plays accordion, however.
Enough said.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen an accordion at the house. But anyway, then I started playing bass in high school because I hated piano lessons for the longest time. I feel like a lot of piano instructors take a really traditional approach to like teaching music, which makes sense. Fundamentally, I'm super grateful that I had that background.
Just not your favorite.
Yeah, well,
way to learn
yeah,
or what?
yeah, that kind of thing. So I was bouncing around to different teachers all the time and stuff, which was tricky, just because I couldn't find something that I really enjoyed in it. So then I stopped playing piano and I started playing bass. Started taking bass lessons from Ben Eagle at
know that guy.
Rondinelli's. Did that for like a year maybe in high school,
Okay.
and then kind of switched over to guitar from there.
Ben Eagle, for those of you who don't know, is a brother to this very host, me.
Yeah, local,
Just so you know.
local legend Ben Eagle. Started doing some guitar with Ben too then, which was a great time. He approached the teaching of the music in a different way too, that I was way more responsive to. We would basically sit down and he would go, "So, what do you want to play?" and then we like.
I thought
would just-
Ben was in the room.
Yeah,
there for a second.
we would just play whatever. And it was just way more casual, and all of a sudden I was like doing my own digging and trying to learn on my own too, instead
Sure,
of,
yeah,
there was
totally.
a different kind of appreciation for it, which was awesome.
Okay.
And then, I just kind of stopped taking lessons altogether. Play guitar all the time and stuff now, though. I play keys in a band in town as well, Skinny and the Shakes.
Very nice.
Yep,
So you no longer hate playing.
that's right.
The piano.
I no longer hate it.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, that's going to be a really sweet time. We've got 2 shows coming up, actually.
Skinny and the Shakes too.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
This Saturday we're in La Crosse, and then
Saturday, March 2nd.
and then Tuesday we are at the Fox Den here in Dubuque.
Okay.
So come on.
Tuesday, March, whatever the
Yeah,
whatever that is.
exactly.
Okay, so next week, Tuesday. Okay, cool. Skinny and the Shakes. Check
Yeah.
them out. Fox Den, or where was the other one?
In La Crosse, I'm not exactly sure where though, off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'll figure that out.
Hit up James online for that.
Exactly.
Let's see, what else? You working on any other projects or?
Oh yeah, man. I've started writing some new stuff for another singer-songwriter project, but that'll probably be a long while.
Kind of a solo project deal, or?
Probably a little more full. The instrumentation on this last project of mine, it's indie folk singer-songwriter stuff.
Okay.
But the instrumentation's pretty sparse, banjo, guitars, drums on a couple tunes, little djembe in there, but mostly acoustic guitar focused.
That's the album that you just did?
That's the EP I just recorded, and then this next project is probably going to be a little more up tempo, a little fuller, a little more full band focused.
Okay.
Just the way I've started writing, that feels right. So that's what we're gonna do next.
Awesome.
But I've also got some electronic stuff that I'm working on. I do. It's gonna be a disco, house kind of funk thing, dance music that I'm working on.
Okay.
And that'll be out. I'm not exactly sure, but this summer sometime. That'll be called Backdoor Beats Volume 2. Backdoor Beats Volume 1 is out on all streaming platforms as well. That's funk-inspired, more hip-hop focused, though. So, some groovy stuff. Check that out. AM Cherry, Backdoor Beats Volume 1, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff.
AM Cherry?
AM Cherry, that's it.
That's the name. That's what you're doing it under?
Yeah, that's
name?
my kind of DJ alias,
Okay.
producer name, whatever you want to call it. And then my singer-songwriter stuff will all be coming out under the name James Riley.
Just under your name.
Yep.
Okay. So you got a lot of irons in the fire, as it were.
I do indeed. Skinny and the Shakes are working on figuring out some time to get some tracking done as well. We just did some demos not too long ago. So
What's that band like? Is that kind of like a rockin' or?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
been hearing about them, but I haven't seen you guys yet since I've been back.
Alt rock, pretty straight up. We do all our own songwriting. Kind of take it in turns, bringing ideas to the group, and then fleshing tunes out as we go.
Awesome.
That's Chad Olson, Daniel Young, and Ben Dunnigan, as well as myself.
Okay.
And that's been really, really fun. It's a change of pace for me, so it's really cool to play fun rock music too, which was something I also learned when I started doing the producing stuff a lot more. I started doing just beats or just whatever the hell for however long, and I was like, I can't spend all my time and energy on this one thing. I want to make music that I can listen to when I'm doing the dishes and when I'm tired and I want to go to bed, or when I'm driving a car really fast, or what. I don't know, that the idea of making music for all of that is so appealing to me.
Sure. Yeah.
It's hard for me
Scratching a
not to
bunch of
have
different itches.
hard for me not to have that many irons in the fire.
Yeah. I think that's good. What else? What else are you working on? So, as far as other mediums, I don't know if we mentioned it, but we were talking before the show that you dabbled in theater a little bit in your past.
I did, yeah.
Creative writing. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I do. Well, theater first, I guess. I was really involved middle school through high school. Did a lot of theater stuff. Shout out VPA and Megan Schumacher at Wash. You guys all rule. And the Dubuque Senior Drama Department. You guys are all awesome also. Had a lot of good times. Did the musicals, and speech contest was my big thing. I love doing speech contest.
Yeah, actually, so do I.
That's
cool.
that's the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was also in the improv troupe at Senior Unscripted, and that was also a blast.
Unscripted?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like comedy improv?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it still? The way you're giggling, I want to hear more
Well,
about it.
no, it would have to be comedy.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Anytime the drama tried to happen, it was terrible, and it ended up being comedy. So
Yeah, you don't hear
that's
about
really
too many
dramatic improv
troupes that do
That'd
dramatic
be crazy.
work. Yeah, it would be, because it always just falls apart into
Weird
somebody
yelling
holding
and
a fake
stuff.
bag of oranges or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done it, as you can tell.
There you go.
But
But no,
I always respected it. Like,
Improv
it's just,
rules.
It's tough.
It's so fun.
Tough.
It is really hard. You got to not care.
Yeah,
Which is almost impossible.
for sure.
It's really fun.
But yeah, some of my favorite sketch has started as improv. So
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. And so you're a writer too.
Yeah. I really enjoyed studying poetry in particular while I was in school. I did a lot of reading. And then in speech as well, that was the crossover. I kind of got put into, in solo events, you could do poetry interpretation and prose interpretation. And those were the two things that I was in. And when I was a freshman in high school, I didn't at all think I was going to be into poetry like that. But then I started like doing oral interpretations and stuff, and that vastly changed my perspective on it. So
Sure.
I started reading a lot of poetry, and I really, really loved it. So that kind of tied into songwriting stuff and lyric writing and all that business. But yeah, mostly I love reading poetry. Like, I love writing, but reading poetry is really, really special to me.
Okay. Well, I host a quarterly
Yeah, you do.
program. I don't know why I didn't know this about you before, but you're going to be on my list now.
Yeah?
People to call.
Uh-oh.
Have you done much, like spoken word live performance?
Not outside of speech contest in high school necessarily.
Or would you like to? Are you interested in such a thing?
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time, but in the right setting for sure. Like, your event is awesome. Words rules.
Thank you.
Something like that would be sweet. Yeah, but I just, it's, you don't find a ton of opportunities for stuff like that just
It's true.
out in the world, honestly.
Yeah, it's true. And words are fun.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah,
fun
man.
to say them out loud and, get a reaction. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just like them.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, you're going to be
Sweetness.
definitely a guy to call.
Cool.
What else, James? Do you ever go by Jimmy? Jim? Jamie, even?
Jamie's a no-go. But all through like high school, the only people that ever assumed my name was Jim, just by seeing that my name was James, were the lunch ladies and my bus driver. They all of them called me Jim.
Really,
not
just
James.
staff?
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
the presumptuous
They
ones?
called me Jim exclusively. And then
And you prefer James? You always have?
no, I don't care. You can
Oh, you
call me
don't
Jim.
care?
I don't. Jimmy, Jim,
Well,
whatever.
I'm not going to start now.
No, but I'm just saying it really doesn't matter to me.
All right, maybe I will then.
I've got a lot of uncles that call me Jimmy, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Shout out Uncle Dave.
No.
Jimmy Ted, that's a classic.
Jimmy Ted, is that your middle name?
My middle name's Theodore.
Theodore,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Jimmy Ted, that might be what I call you.
There you go.
Yeah. What else do I want to ask you? What do you think of the Dubuque music scene in general? You glad to be a part of it, or
Yeah,
what do you have to say about it?
definitely. For me, it feels kind of cool where it's at right now. I know it's kind of in a point of regrowth, though. So, like, kind of right before my high school years, for a long time before that, apparently there were just like bands all the time, like a dime a dozen in town.
I mean, it goes in waves. It's true. I mean, and I'm certainly, I wasn't here for it, but I'm sure COVID affected it a little
Yeah.
bit. When nobody could do anything. But it might have, sort of affected the amount that people were making home recordings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Sure.
and I know I've seen a lot, like a big boost in that kind of stuff from like musicians that I know around here. But yeah, I mean, so you think that it's kind of
I think it's coming back a little bit. I
in
think
a good spot?
Yeah, I think there's folks my age in particular that are really pushing to get the Dubuque music scene back in and kicking. You know, there's bands popping up all of a sudden. And maybe I was just too young to pay attention to that stuff during that time, but I feel like right before the time where I would have been really engaged in that stuff is when, you know, that the Kayak Jones kind of era of music in Dubuque.
I'm not even sure I know that. Is that a band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I know them.
Oh yeah, they rule.
Okay. Something to look for.
Yeah, Kayak Jones.
Who's in that? Anybody I would know?
Tyler Zumhoff.
Nope.
Ben Dunnigan played in Kayak. He did some bass.
Of course,
for
I know
him.
Ben. He's another
Mentor.
mentor.
Brandon Blakely.
Blakely.
Yeah, he's
Sounds familiar.
He drums for the band Hot Mulligan, as well. They're pretty big. Kind of, I don't know. They're like post-punk. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun stuff.
Nice.
But they had a whole wave of bands in that era. And
This is what, like 5-6 years ago?
Oh man,
10 years ago?
Yeah, longer. Yeah, for sure. Because man, I would have been in high. I graduated 2017, and like the most music that I was ever engaged with, as far as like bands and stuff were concerned, was like at the Project One stuff.
Okay.
You know. So it's really cool now to see a ton of those kids in the bands that make up the Dubuque music scene now.
Yeah,
which
for sure.
is really sweet.
For sure, yeah.
And that's for sure happened. They're just peppered in everywhere, which is really badass.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
kick-ass
cool
for
to
sure.
see.
And it seems like it's going really well. I guess I'll just mention, since I'm not a mentor this time, but I've been helping to film a lot of the progress of the mentorship program this time, because hopefully we're going to work out a documentary. Don't want to toot my own horn, but I did go to film school, and that's that's where I was all this time, is studying that shit, and yeah.
Where'd you go to film school?
University of Colorado, Denver.
Cool.
Yeah, and graduated in 2021, and haven't done jack shit with it since.
So here
Except
you
for
are.
this. I mean, this is nice. Been sort of, one Mr. Brad Noonan, who also works here with you, has been doing most of the work.
Yeah, that
And I've been
scoundrel.
kind of
That
scoundrel. Yeah,
rapscallion.
we can see him from
Bradford.
here. But and I've been kind of helping out with the production and everything, and it's been nice to see the progress, especially from both camps, the art and the music, and we'll see. So, the reason I bring that up is because we are on the DAAC YouTube channel, which is where we'll likely be putting, the finished product of the documentary once we're done. But you're going to be a big part of that, because you're going to be probably, doing candid interviews with us and stuff. So if you want to give a sneak peek of, like your opinion on how it's going, I guess I sort of already asked you that, but if you have anything else, to kind of add about it, or
Yeah, I'm stoked on it, and honestly, there's quite a bit of time left too, so I bet there's going to be even more happening. I'm not sure what it's even going to look like quite yet, honestly.
Yeah, sky's the limit at this point.
There's a lot of growth. I think there's going to maybe even be another group formed in here or something. I don't know, because I think one individual is still coming to us, and he wants to do some solo stuff that he's writing, and he wants mentors to help back him for that. So like, we haven't even seen what that's gonna be looking
Very
like
cool,
yet.
yeah.
So I really don't know. I'm really excited. It's freaking packed wall to wall in here for these shows, which is super sweet. So I'm just glad it's happening again.
Yeah, hell yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Do you? I'm forgetting off the top of my head when the end date of the, like the the culmination show is going to be.
Oh, I don't
Remember
remember
off
it
the
off
top?
the top of my head.
I don't
It's
either,
probably
really.
in my calendar. but
I mean,
don't think-
it'll. Yeah, I'm gonna plug a whole bunch of stuff after this.
Great.
I just thought while we're talking about it, we could plug the date, but I forget to. But yeah, that's gonna be right here at Smokestack.
Was the first one? Was it Cranes and Vultures? Did they do that show, or was that a different show?
Cranes and Vultures.
The
I mean,
Nate Jenkins
yeah, I remember
band,
the
right?
band. I don't think it was the same show.
Was it
though.
a different one?
I feel like maybe
There was
those
another
two-
youth music one, I think. They must have done another show at some point.
Okay, yeah, that could be. Was it here?
Yeah, it was here.
Okay.
Uh-huh. It's all good.
I don't know. It was
I don't
8 years
remember.
ago.
Yeah,
or
it was a
9
long
years
time.
ago, whatever
yeah.
the hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it very well could have involved both of those two gentlemen because they are both. That's Nate and Eric, right?
I don't know. Man, it's also 8 years is
God,
right.
yeah, exactly.
Nate Jenkins was also just my a teacher of mine at the time at senior. He was the best.
Okay, yeah, and he's
I think he's in Spain now or something.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's another
Distant lands.
Dubuque musician, legend. Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
No, just kidding, Nate. I love you. But yeah, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't
Fair
remember
enough.
if they were involved. I'm sure they probably were at some point, or at least as individuals.
Yeah, it could have been a different program too, just with youth music stuff. Because there were
for
other,
sure.
like Oda Benga was on the bill. I think Andrew Bowershore might have been on it or something. I don't know.
Well, that's just I mean,
I
that's
got.
just it.
I think
Like,
I have that bill at my house somewhere. That poster for that
Nice.
show. I'll dig it up.
that just goes to show you that there's no shortage of youth-oriented programs
Yeah.
for musicianship,
Yeah.
art, whatever the hell you want in this town.
Yeah, I feel super fortunate to have been raised in a place that put such a focus on it when I was young, in particular.
Yeah, man, likewise.
It's really cool.
For sure, because it wasn't always like that. There's always been a scene here, for sure, but it's just it's pretty easy for young people to sort of get up and get on stage and do what they want to do if they want to do it.
Right.
It's awesome. So you write grants and stuff like that too. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So that most recent EP was in thanks to the National Endowment of the Arts and the City of Dubuque. Big shout out to those guys, all of them.
Heard of 'em.
over there. I got the Creative Empowerment Grant, which just gave me the funding to actually make this happen, get some studio time, and
Very cool.
pay some of the musicians, and then set up some youth outreach programming stuff. So I did a couple of songwriters sessions where I had Ben and Hannah actually up on stage with me, and we kind of just shared tunes, but you know how that like singer-songwriter shows in particular, the artist can take a second to explain the song a little bit, that kind of thing. I just kind of wanted
like a VH1 storyteller.
I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit and make it more of a dialogue as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of rotated playing tunes, and before each song we would explain a little bit about the tune, either process or whatever it might be. And then after the song you could say some more about the tune, or audience can ask questions, or other musicians up on stage can ask questions, or whatever it might be, just so that it's kind of an open conversation about the process, not just the product, because the product is really special. But I think it's really unfortunate that we don't have more opportunities to talk about the process as artists, songwriters in particular, because there's so many different approaches or beliefs, or whatever it might be. So it's the format of that was super successful.
Like an interactive sort of showcase. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then through through the Dubuque Area Arts Collective now, I'll be hosting one of those songwriter sessions a month here, which is going to be super sweet. The next one will be the third Saturday of this month, which is, hold on.
It's okay.
It'll
We'll all take a minute to look at our phones.
March 17th.
March 17th?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be here. It's going to be a great time. We're going to talk about songwriting.
Here meaning?
The Smokestack.
At Smokestack.
Yes, on this very stage.
Yeah.
That'll be the next one. That'll be our second. It's going to be sweet.
Cool. You have any other, well, actually, so you already plugged your Skinny and the Shakes shows. You have any other plugs to
I guess
get out of the way?
On Bandcamp and SoundCloud, I put out a project a month or two ago called Cathedral, also under the name Am Cherry. I was experimenting with a lot of quasi R&B, but mostly like vocal layering and cool effects and shit like that. But that's another little EP I put out just a couple months ago. And again, that's just on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. It's called Cathedral. Yeah, it's that one. Let me think. That's most.
What's
my
this?
stuff.
Is it just bandcamp.com/?
It would probably be Cathedral. I can send you some links or something for that, though. But if you just look up,
Yeah, we
if
can
you
put
just
some links
search
under
it,
this
If you
under
just
the video.
search it, it should pop up there.
Okay. Under your name or just AM Cherry?
AM Cherry. Yep.
Okay.
AM Cherry Cathedral.
On that Bandcamp, do you have any of your singer-songwriter stuff? Or
That's the
is it
only
all
thing.
just dedicated to the
Yep.
electronic
Yep.
project?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. AM Cherry.
Yep.
That's easy. What else? Do you have a release date for your album with Tweety yet?
Not set in stone quite yet, but it should be by the end of May. I should have that out.
Do you have a title yet?
The title is I'm holding that close to the chest just for right now.
Okay,
we'll
that's
say.
fair. That's fair. What's
It'll
it start with?
It'll be out soon. John, I'm buying time here. I don't have a good answer for you right now.
Okay. I was just gonna try and guess. Give me the second letter. And you can make something up.
H.
H?
Yeah.
The James Riley album.
That would be really special if that's what I called it. Good Lord.
No. Okay, so look for James's new singer-songwriter solo project that he got grants for. He recorded down in Lone Tree, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Flat Black Studios with Luke Tweedy. Legendary place, legendary
That
producer.
guy rules. That place rules.
Yeah, I've recorded with him myself. He's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. What else? This I'd just like to call the wild card session, free for all.
Cool.
Anything you want to talk to me about? How am I doing with this?
What kind of music do you listen? Like, what you probably listen to a lot of music, but like, what's your core? What's at the very center of you?
At the very center of me. Well, I mean, I was born into rock and roll. I'll die out of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll is the best. But I've been listening to a lot of like early country too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like Porter Wagner,
Okay.
stuff like that. Hank. And lately I've been on a Cheap Trick
hell yeah.
kick. So I've been listening to a lot of Cheap Trick and power pop in general, but especially Cheap Trick.
Do you like this kind of new wavy country stuff that's happening, like the indie country thing?
I do. I think a lot of it is really good. A lot of it's pretty generic, but I mean, like I like some of the popular guys, Stapleton, Sturgill,
Sure.
Those guys.
I was just gonna say like Childers, Sturgill, Chris Stapleton's great. I've just kind of started getting into those guys, and I really like it. But I think it is, you're right, surrounded by music that doesn't quite do that sound justice, maybe.
No, yeah, you're right.
You know?
I mean, a lot, like, they're not breaking any new ground or anything, but there's, there's some great,
Yeah.
there's some great songs.
And I like that. You wrote up that review on Wednesday, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah,
I love
like
that record.
That kind of interpret that crossbreeding of kind of shoegazy and country rock indie
Yes.
thing. That's like fuzzy slide guitar all day. That's money. I
Yes,
love that sound so
absolutely.
much.
In fact, I bought their covers album, and they do this Gary Stewart song.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
You know it?
yeah, that record is awesome.
Man, it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a big fan of those guys.
Hell yeah. You should. Have you listened to much MJ Lenderman?
Not much, no.
Okay.
Not the solo stuff, but
So
I
he's
need to.
the guitarist in Wednesday,
Mhm.
and I believe he's dating the lead singer in
The
Wednesday.
singer, yeah, I believe you're right.
But he released the album Boat Songs not too long ago, and that album kicks ass. When that came out, it's got like these little. He's like into like David Berman in some cool ways, and you can
Okay.
tell in his songwriting. But it's like there's something that he brings like the cheekiness of old country. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite part of country. Is like when they're cracking jokes about their wife and shit.
Yeah,
like that's
totally.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
He brings.
I've been meaning to check that Boat
he
Songs
bring-
out. I haven't yet.
It's a really cool record. Really cool record. He's got like a straight up Neil Young tune on that tastes just like it cost. Is like exactly a Neil Young song in a good way. I like that a lot.
Rad.
But yeah, Boat Songs itself is the title track is really fantastic. The whole record's really really nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
he rules. That
it's on my list.
Dude, the Asheville scene is insane right now. It's crazy. They're
Yeah,
putting out
right?
some great music.
Yeah. I always paid attention to that that area in the South because there's always great shit coming out of there. But yeah, like in particular, that little scene is it seems
They're doing
like it's
cool
great.
things. Yeah.
What else are you listening to?
Oh, what am I listening to?
Yeah. What's
Well,
making you?
I've been doing a lot of sampling lately. So I'm kind of doing. I'm hitting a lot of like 70s funk stuff.
Okay.
The meters, that kind of thing. That's
Love it.
been really fun.
One of the most sampled bands probably in the world.
The
'Cause
legendary
they're
for
so
great digging.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so funky.
Man, I really like messing around with like Fiona Apple samples, Tom Waits, like later, like more industrial kind of stuff is really
Cool.
really fun too.
I'll have to listen to your AM Cherry stuff. I didn't know
Yeah,
about that stuff.
I'll send you the weird stuff too, because
Cool.
that's all the normal stuff.
Oh,
I got
okay.
I'll make you and Bob a folder
Okay,
of all
cool.
my weird shit.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I had an ambient project that I put out. Oh,
Oh man,
that was
I gotta
a
hear
little
that.
while ago, and I think that actually got taken off streaming services and stuff because I was using United Masters to put out my music for a while, and that's a fucking scam. Don't use United Masters, everybody.
Not because your samples didn't clear or something like that.
No, none of it was sampled. It's it's a whole thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. Got tugged around quite a bit on that. But anyway, I think those are off streaming services now. But I had like a super, I don't know, schizophrenic, cool ambient project out there for a while that I was really happy with.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that called? And will you do it again?
I might. I might do that again. Well, I make a lot of ambient stuff still. I don't know if I'll put out a project necessarily. I mean, under the right circumstances, or if I start working with somebody who's into that, like that would give me like a reason to. I really like making it, but it feels more personal than anything that kind of music does for me, at least.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Um,
I listen to a lot of that kind of stuff, and I want to make a record like that. So
Yeah.
I should talk to you
Yeah, hell yeah.
about that.
Let's make
I
it
mean, we
happen.
can talk about it right now.
Yeah,
Actually,
we could.
we literally have a podium
We
for
could.
it.
I need to get.
What should I do?
Yeah.
If, a guy that has basically just been a huge dirtball drummer and nothing else. A little bit, I sing in Legal
Sure.
Fingers, but I don't really play anything else. I can play guitar. I know how to play guitar. I'm not very good, but
Have you ever?
I wanna do ambient.
Have you ever messed around with like a synth?
yes,
Because that's the whole.
that's what I want. Yeah, and I want to do it
that.
more. I just I have no access. Basically,
I like.
Do you
there's
have like
whole-
a? Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it,
go
it
ahead.
just gets so experimental. You can do it whatever you want. Really, is the cool thing. You're just trying to get a cool sound. How I like to do it is I get one cool sound
Yeah.
that tickles me or whatever, and then I work off that and I build something off that because it's easier to start
Do
once
you
you have
use
something.
the like Bandcamp or not Bandcamp, but
Logic.
what do you call it? Rock
Yeah.
Band. Oh, Logic. Okay.
Yeah, Logic is what I use.
So, okay.
Primarily, but I can use Pro Tools or.
I guess I did
Ableton
fuck
or-
around. Like when I was in school, I did like I scored like a short film that I did.
Nice, yeah.
With like just the built-in synths inside the Rock Band.
Dude, GarageBand.
Or that's what.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Rock
You're
Band.
good,
What's
you're
Rock
good.
Band? Isn't that video
It's the
game?
game, yeah. Dude,
Garage
Rock
Band
Band,
is what I
Rock
meant.
Band 2?
Yeah.
Oof, that was the game.
Rock
bro.
Band 2.
I was
I-
nice with it.
I think I played. Was there a dedicated Aerosmith Rock Band? I think I played.
There
that one.
was, yeah. They had a few of those.
Yeah. I want to just talk about Aerosmith now. No, we don't have to
Do you like Aerosmith like that?
Oh God, I love
Dude.
Aerosmith. Dude.
All right.
Are you kidding me? But no, there's a point. There's a definite cutoff, and it's Get a Grip, which is 1990, I think, or 1991, something like that. I'll go up to that album even. Like some of the songs on it are pretty bad, but there's some bangers on it.
Yeah, all
But
right.
everything before that I love.
Okay. There you go.
Especially the first four records in the 70s.
Okay, this feels like give me three classic rock bands that everyone likes that you don't like.
That everyone likes that I don't
Yeah.
like. Okay. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
You
liked it.
asshole.
Really?
That's crazy. Okay, continue.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
No, that's
'cause
great.
I didn't realize I was going to offend
That
you.
was a perfect answer.
Yeah. Man, that's tough because I like a lot of classic rock. That's a big one, though. George Thorogood, I can't fucking stand.
Okay.
What else? I'm put on the spot
You
now.
like
I can't think
Yes?
of another one. I do like Yes. I like Yes a lot.
All
yeah.
right. Freaking.
But again, there's a cutoff there too. Like I'm not really big on any of their '80s stuff.
Okay, fair.
I'm but yeah, I love their classic material.
All right. Stevie Ray Vaughan was a hot take.
I know,
for
I
sure.
realize, and of course I get that he can play guitar, and I like watching interviews with him because he's always so like messed up on cocaine and
Yeah.
just like
He was out of it.
chewing on his own face
Uh-huh.
and answering questions that don't make sense.
Uh-huh.
But like, and there's stuff to like about. Like I've come around to him a little bit, but I grew up just not liking him.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to like that bluesy thing too, because there's
And
a point.
I most certainly don't.
There you go.
Like,
There's a point where you can definitely say, "Oh, this sounds a lot like the last tune."
yeah,
you know, with this
exactly.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta really like the guitar solo business.
Right.
But he was just so good, man. He was so good.
It's good. Yeah, that's been shoved down my fucking throat
Yeah,
for like,
well, Playing on the
so
fattest
many
strings
years.
around. My dad,
Yeah.
I don't know where my dad heard this, or even if this is how he said it, but it's just cool to me that this story exists. But there's like a legend that Stevie Ray Vaughan was playing at a show once, and he was playing so hard, the tips of his fingers were bleeding. So he put super glue on the end of each finger and stuck it to his forearm and pulled the skin off of his forearm and started playing.
Wow.
Impossible. There's no way
Yeah,
that
I'm
happened.
sure that didn't happen,
That doesn't
but
make any sense.
still a great-
But I
great
really
legend.
like that. Yeah, somebody told me that happened. Is just badass. That makes you like a guy more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his story. Nice.
That is a good story.
He's a legend, man.
Yeah. again, you
Fair
know,
enough.
like I said, I've come around to them a lot, you know, and that was the case. That's the case to a lot of, you know, like I like a lot of stuff that I used to not like too. Like, you get older, you just like, it's way more energy to hate something, you know,
Yeah.
Don Henley than it is to just
Sure.
like, okay, Dirty Laundry's a fucking great song,
Yeah,
or
there you
whatever,
go.
know, like,
Classic.
so whatever. I can find, honestly, something to like in just about anything, including Stevie Ray Vaughan. So I'm not going to talk shit about him, but like, you know, it's not my thing.
That's fair. That's plenty fair.
All right, same question, you. But instead of classic rock, how about like, you know, some hip indie rock?
Hip indie rock. Wow. That I don't like.
That everyone else likes.
That everyone else likes. Well, you're gonna lose me with most like stadium country. I'm scrambling for an answer right now. This is a broad answer to your very specific question. Most like stadium country is gonna be a miss for me. By that I mean
like your Morgan Wallens and stuff like that.
yeah,
That's
sure.
horrible. That's not even
hip hop drums on a country tune. You know, 808s and hi hat rolls. It drives me bonkers.
Yeah, sure.
For sure.
I get that.
So any of that business is gonna get me. But I love country music.
Mm-hmm.
Big ones.
There's got to be some band that like, I just don't get it. Like,
Okay,
I don't get
this-
Vampire Weekend for. Did I just offend you again?
That's badass. They're
I
so,
do
they're so
not like 'em.
joyous. They're so happy. It's so
They're so pissing me off.
awesome.
You know, yeah. But this is about you. I want to hear
here
your
you go.
answer.
Tame Impala. Not my thing really.
That is good. That's a good answer.
I big on that indie sound, big on that chill wave, whatever the hell you want to call it. But his like first two projects were pretty sweet, but now he's just I don't know. He doesn't grab my attention anymore. And a lot of people fucking love him, you know, just because he uses compressors, I guess, or something. But
there again, there's stuff to like about it. Like,
yes,
I know like people go nuts for King Gizzard too. I just don't get it. It's
King
like,
Gizzard
it's too
is an
much.
interesting one. Yeah, their output makes it hard to be a fan. Like it's hard for me to say I like King Gizzard because there's just no way I can keep up with that much.
Yeah, 90 records a year or
Oh my
whatever. Like
God.
it's just calm down,
Oh my
guys.
God.
But yeah, again,
Yeah.
stuff to like. We're gonna lose people here just
Yeah,
by talking
definitely.
about.
This is badass. Where else could I go? I'm a big, hip hop guy, so I could do some of that, but a lot of those are. Hip hop is super polarizing,
It can
just
be,
as
that's
it
for sure.
is. Even within like the hip hop community, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a huge like Drake guy or anything like that. There's some good songs, but that's
Do you ever aspire to like do a hip hop album?
Oh yeah,
Do you?
absolutely.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that would be so sick.
Doing the beats or doing the rhymes or both? Or?
If somebody put me in a hospital if I ever start rapping on a track, that is not for me.
Okay,
There's a lot
gotcha.
of folks that ought to realize that who are white and trying to do hip hop. Like that shit is. You should just not, if that. I tried it, once or twice on my own in my room.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to hear that once to be like, no, that's not it. So no, but I do love producing, and I love. I've worked with some really cool dudes. I know some very talented white rappers as well. I'm not saying it like that.
No, I know what you mean.
But
Yeah, hopefully
I would
our
love,
viewers know what you mean.
I would love to. Yeah,
Because that's what's important.
I would
get canceled on this show.
I would love to do a hip hop record. I think, man, I was talking. Oh, speaking of white rappers, freaking Case the Joint, and we've been phone tagging for a minute here. I gotta hit him up, but he's got some tracks in mind that he wants to do some stuff on.
Great. Another former guest on the cast here.
Case is the best. He rules.
He is. He's great.
And Stefan Woolley. We haven't really sat down together, but we've talked a little bit about music stuff. I'm really hoping to do some work with him.
That'd be great.
He's got some really sweet ideas, and I got some really weird shit that I want to throw at him. See if he likes it. But yeah, the scene for hip hop in Dubuque just isn't as active either. You know, it's not. You know, Ace is doing a lot of really cool hip hop stuff for sure. There are some folks doing that shit, and it sounds really good. But the community is still relatively small, and we just don't have a huge. Like I haven't, you know, there's a hip hop show every once in a while, but we don't have hip hop shows like that real often or any of that. So the community is pretty sparse, and that'd be something that I'd love to start working on in Dubuque too.
Yeah,
such great stuff.
Yeah, I've got a nephew that Little Rager. He.
Yeah.
He, I want to give him a shout out on the show.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't need my help. Probably hurt him more than anything, but no, I doubt it. I wanted to. Yeah, he's in the scene, and he says a lot of the same stuff you are. Like it's just not as active. It's not
Right.
as nurturing as it could be,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and there's just
someone's there to help it along.
There are great mentors. Like I said, Ace.
Do I know Ace? Who's Ace?
He works at Glass House with Zill's Asylum.
Okay.
So Zill's is also a great hip hop mentor and whatnot as well. But they just run a studio on what is it, Central there? Yeah.
Okay, great. Do
Um,
you want to plug it? What's the name?
Glass House.
Oh, that's- you already said that. Okay.
That's Ace's joint, and
Cool.
then Asylum. I don't know if they're under one umbrella pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, Zills and Ace are both really great guys.
Cool. So there are people out there trying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's effort for sure, but it's just again, you know, it takes more than two guys working their asses off to make something like that happen. So you know, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I think we did it. I don't know. Anything else to add at the end here? You want to tell me what what's the last great movie you saw?
What's the last great movie I saw?
And the last great TV show you binge watched?
Okay. Movie, we'll go. I just rewatched Blade Runner 2049. Really, really cool
First
movie.
time?
That rewatched. That was
rewatched.
like my probably third time seeing it.
Great movie.
Really cool soundtrack, visually stunning,
Mhm.
very fantastic film. Let's see. I just finished the newest True Detective season.
What did you think of that?
Okay.
Without giving any spoilers, obviously.
No
because
spoilers.
Some people are still watching
No
it.
spoilers.
I'm sure.
The first season,
Untouchable.
untouchable. Then that's really the problem. I think what they did with this season is they made a fun season of television. Like, it's a good show. Like, it's just objectively fun to watch. Like, it's a good thriller, you know, detective. It was a little short.
It was a little short. What was it, 6 episodes or
Yeah,
something?
6 episodes, which I thought was a little strange. But it was good. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah,
It was
it was good. I
entertaining.
liked it too. There was a little too much, like, I don't know, like, I don't know what, like, supernatural to
Yeah,
it, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. And I was like, you know.
They played that up for sure in
They
an
played that up a
interesting
little
way. Yeah, I don't.
It
yeah,
was interesting, yeah.
I'm not sure. But yeah, the season 1 is just so perfect.
It's
and
gonna,
and
it's never gonna be touched.
Yeah,
I don't think. The third one came a little close.
You like that third
I liked
season?
that third one. Yeah, I really
Really?
did. I mean,
with the memory.
yeah,
was it?
I guess I
Yeah.
can't remember it now, so maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought I did. But
It's like the
I remember
guy
liking it.
getting older, but it's yeah.
oh yeah. I guess that kind of had a supernatural
Uh huh.
thing
There was
to
a
it
weird
too.
thing.
Oh, okay, so but we can all agree that number 1 is the greatest,
Yeah.
and number 2 is
Untouchable.
the stinkiest.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
season 4 was great. It's a
All
good
right,
show.
James.
Watch
Well,
it.
thanks for joining me
Dude,
today.
thank you.
This was great.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, dude, for sure. So yeah, AM Cherry, check it out on Bandcamp. James Riley's solo album coming out hopefully in spring, end of May, something like that.
End of May.
Skinny and the Shakes. Got some shows coming up. Let's see, what we say, this Saturday, the 2nd.
Yep.
And then the following Tuesday,
And then
the
this Tuesday,
whatever
yeah.
that is, 5th, 6th, something like that. A few plugs for DAAC and Smokestack real quick before we get out of here. This Friday is First Fridays, as is every first Friday of the month. Citywide, nationwide really, art show. There's a big one here at Smokestack. Musical guest Ethan Keller, something to check out. And then of course the All Ages Open Mic, which is the first Sunday of every month. That's this Sunday, March 3rd. There's a new issue of the Ruix zine out right now, so pick one up here at Smokestack or wherever you get your news publications. There's some record reviews in there by yours truly. Some poetry by former mentee Sunshine Deer, and some other cool stuff. There's always cool stuff in these things, and it's free. So pick one up if you get a chance. Anything else coming up? Let's see. There's a Readings Under the Influence in April coming up, which I think I mentioned earlier. I am a co-host of, but that we'll do another episode before then. SmokestackDBQ.com. Just keep your eye on that, and there's you can find out whatever's coming up. I don't know
All
everything.
Ages Open Mic this Sunday. That's gonna be a good time.
I did mention that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's okay. You can mention it again.
I'm working, is why I said that again.
Oh
So
yeah, James is a bartender here too, so
tip
come
me for that. That'd be great.
say hello, order a drink from him, and
Play some music. Bring it. I think we got a theremin last time, which was wild. So somebody top that.
I'd like to play that theremin.
He had purchased that theremin that day and didn't know how to play it. Some of the wildest
Well, does
shit
anybody
I've
really
ever
know how to
seen
play it? I mean, yeah, that's a tough one. Cool. Okay, so lots of good stuff coming up. Next month we'll have another guest. I don't know who the hell it's going to be yet. But yeah, keep your eye on this channel. And like I said, smokestackdbq.com for more events. We're out of here. See ya.